Hey baby chefs, welcome to this week's cook along. I'm about to go through the 10 dishes on the menu this week. Get your recipe booklets out, your cards, follow them, really easy, really simple. Unpack everything, group it together. It's numbered and colour coded, so very simple. If you've not got a box this week, remember, have a look at these videos. If you like what you see, last orders is Sunday night for our next week's menu. We're into December, amazingly, and then we've got our Christmas menus, everything coming up. Have a look at the website, but for now, let's get cooking. Let's get started on our weekly menu. First up is our weekly bake. This is lovely beetroot crackers here. Roll them through the pasta machine, nice and thin. You've got a little bit of molten salt on the top. They're just going to go into the oven now, and I'm just going to put a little bit of rapeseed oil just on the top before they go in. And I'm going to put them in the oven for about 1 to 2 minutes. It's just to warm them up, just to make sure they're extra crisp. And then when we come back, I've got a little smoked beetroot gel which I'm going to be piping on them, and some deep fried capers in this little biocane pot here. Remember, all of the containers, they're either compostable, so all of the vacuum bags are compostable. They can all go into your food waste bin, no problem at all. Back in 1 to 2 minutes, and I'm going to show you finishing this off. So here we are, we're just finishing off the crackers. They come out of the oven. I've just spread them out onto my board, and then I've just cut my little piping bag nozzle off of the smoked beetroot gel. I'm just piping that all over the crackers, as much as you want really. So make sure you get lots on there, fill in all the little spaces. That's just so you get a bit of the gel with every single bite. Then, let's get our capers. And they're just some little fried capers. Add a lovely little salty little kick to it, and further crispiness. So just scatter them over the crackers like so, and then we'll be all ready to go. And again, you want to do this kind of once you've plated these up, get them to the table as quick as you can, because that gel will start to soften up the crackers, and no one likes a soggy cracker, do they? There we go, that's all on there. We've got a little bit of barley, as I usually do to present these ones on. And then let's make a real lovely little arrangement of them. Stunning colours coming off of this. A little bit more in there, like so. And there we go. That's my weekly bake starter course of smoked beetroot gel on those lovely beetroot crackers, crispy capers. Hope you enjoy it. Onto our fish starter now. We've got a lovely potted crab dish. Now, I've done this a few times on the chef menu, really popular. What you want to do, this has already been out softening. I'm just going to put my grill on here. It's already been out softening for about 10 to 15 minutes. Really important, because if it's completely fridge cold, it's just not going to taste. You're not going to get the full benefit. But we've set you a lovely little brown crab mousse in the bottom, really lemony. Then we've got the white crab, and then we've got that tandoori spiced butter just on the top. I've got my sourdough, little sourdough croute, that's in the oven already, 5 to 6 minutes, just warming up in the UV chef paper that it comes wrapped in. And then in here, we've just got a little salsa just to go on the top. So, just give that a nice little stir. That's all ready to go. I'm going to get 2 spoons so I can quenelle that onto the top. And then let's get our sourdough out. Now that comes all nicely wrapped, and you can just undo that, unwrap that, ready to go. There we go, lovely piece of charred grilled sourdough, really nice. I'm going to put a tiny bit of seasoning on the top of there, and just a little trick you can do, just to get a little sheen on the butter. I'm just going to put it under the grill, very quickly though, not long, just literally to give a beautiful shine on the top of that spiced butter. If you've got a little posh little blowtorch, that'll also work nice. Slight bit longer, see, it doesn't take long. There we go, lovely little shine. Then I'm going to do a nice big quenelle, so you just get your 2 spoons and just turn that over. You can just put little spoons on if you prefer, it's completely up to you. Nice big spoon in the centre. There we go, just a little clear down. Now I'm going to put that in each box. We send you some of this UV Chef grease proof. That can go into the compost bin as well. Put your little piece of sourdough on the side. Quick little wipe on the top of there, make sure it's all looking lovely. And there you go. Lovely, simple starter, sourdough ready to get your knife and spread that all over the hot sourdough. Hope you enjoy it. Little bit of a take on a Greek salad now for our little meat starter. We've got croquettes of lamb shoulder just in there, so that's a braised lamb shoulder picked down very finely, and then we've got some panko breadcrumbs. Let's get them in the oven, about 6 to 8 minutes, just to crispen those up. And then my garnishes, I've got feta cheese just crumbled there. I've got some cucumber ribbons that we've just compressed in a really nice basil oil. And then in here, we've got a black olive and basil dressing, red onion mint salad. So all of these, when our lamb comes out, I'm going to get my plate and I'm going to start building up the salad on the plate itself and then finish with the lamb croquettes. Back in about 6 minutes. So, I've just warmed my plate up very, very slightly, just ready for all the lamb and the garnish to go on. Just cut off your little corner of the cucumber bag, and then I'm just going to put the knife into the bag just so that I can open that up nicely. That's all ready there. Like so. Look at the colour on that cucumber, real vivid, lovely green. And then what we're going to do, let's get our lamb onto the plate, like so. And then I find it's easy just to do my fingers. Take the cucumber and just start, again you don't have to fold each piece, but I just want to kind of get some real height to the dish. So just give it a little squeeze as you do this, just so it sort of stays together. And then some of the ribbons, more kind of just so that they're folded over. You see how you start to build up the height and of course the interest on each plate. That cucumber's just been compressed just enough so it's still got the crunch. Look at that straight away, looking beautiful. Right, quick clean down. Then I'm going to get a little bit of feta. I'm going to build up the layers of colour and flavour now. So a little bit of that salty feta around the plate, like so. Then we'll go to some of our onions. I'm just going to get my tweezers for this one. And this is a lovely little red onion and mint salad. And you can see straight away, look at all those colours on there. Really, really nice. A bit more in the centre, like so. Go back, a little bit more feta, just on the top, all the way around. And then we're going to finish off. Give your dressing, so this is black olives in here, lovely bit of basil oil, chiffonade of basil as well. And then just give a nice little spoon, as well as some of the actual dressing itself, all the way around. Try and get this nice and evenly distributed. The flavour from this is really, really nice. And we're almost ready to go. Tiny bit of rapeseed, just to finish off, just for that lovely golden colour. There we go. That is a little take on Greek salad for you. Those crispy lamb croquettes, crunchy cucumber, lovely red onions and black olives. Onto our vegetarian starter this week on the menu. We've got a lovely baked mushroom gnocchi. So you've got the gnocchi in here, a little bit of butter, we've got the parmesan all going through that, and then we've got a mushroom cigarette. So this is a wild mushroom cigarette in foie de brick pastry. This gnocchi is going to cook with the lid on, so just put the lid loosely back on it, because basically you don't want the top of a gnocchi to get like any colour on it when it's cooking, and that wants to go in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. All the butter's going to melt, it's going to heat up, beautiful smell's going to come off of that when you take the lid off. But your cigarette, 6 to 8 minutes, so that's just to crispen up the pastry. It won't take long to heat up the mushroom inside, so they're going to go both in the oven. And when we come back, I'll have got my spinach puree out. It's a lovely smooth spinach puree. Put it into a little pan, warm it up. Alternatively, just put this into a little pan of water, just scalding water, 2 to 3 minutes, and then put it out to a pot so that you can dress it onto the plate. Really, really simple. And then we've got a lovely wild mushroom dressing in here. It's got a bit of sherry vinegar going through it. We've got Pear de mouton, we've got chanterelles, we've got little shimiji mushrooms, brown and white in there as well. When we come back, we'll get it all plated up for this stunning vegetarian starter. Right, we're all ready to serve up our vegetarian stuff now. Nice warm bowl. And then we've got our spinach puree just in there. Really, really lovely and silky that is. So you get a good few spoons of the puree in, and I'm going to use the back of a spoon. See, I'm just putting it in this ovally bowl. I'm just going to kind of spread it out so I've got a nice vivid green base on what to sit my gnocchi. Sorry. So that's our puree. Then you see our gnocchi, they've all baked up lovely. Let's put a tiny little bit of seasoning just on each one. We don't put too much seasoning when we're cooking them, just because they can make them go soft. So, little baste of that butter on the top. Then let's get placing these. Spend a bit of time and get them looking really, really beautiful. Almost there. No, that's our beautiful little gnocchi. Then we're going to come back to our mushrooms. Give it a nice stir, and then as you dress it, just drain off some of the liquid and just place those mushrooms so you can see everything. Look at that lovely chanterelle, pride of place. And you want to see everything on the top. So as I said, there's Pierre de Mouton in there. That's the chanterelles. We've got the chimichurris. And then I'm going to get some of the dressing, and I'm going to dress that over the top. Look at that, how lovely does that look. Finish off with that little cigarette just on the side. I'm going to sit that all ready to eat a little bit of a cigarette, dipping it into that spinach puree. Hope you enjoy the vegetarian starter. Onto our fish main course now. We've got a fillet of cod, so that all comes to you in this lovely little pouch, all with a little bit of Beurre Noisette, so nut brown butter, just in around the fish. This is going to go into a pan of water. So I've got a pan of water, it's come to the boil, I've turned it right down, it's really, really important, so it's just simmering. And then the cod is going to go in there, and I'm going to leave it for about a minute, just on that very, very low simmer, and then we're going to turn the heat off. So just leave that there for a second. And then just time to show you the rest of the garnishes. So in here we've got some salsify, really, really nice earthy like root vegetable. So that's all in there. It's all been braised and it's been char grilled as well. And we've got some lettuce, which again has just been charred. Brings out really, really nice flavour. Put the lids back on these. So these really cool bio-cane tubs, they go in the oven. Lids back on, and they want to go in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. Get those going in. Then the sauce. This is really, really important. This is a shrimp and deviled shrimp butter, sorry, so it's got a little bit of spice in there. What you want to do, put a tablespoon or so of water per portion of butter, just like that. And then this is going to go onto the heat, but it's only going to go onto the heat just when we're ready to serve up. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to, on the heat, just going to agitate the pan a little bit, and that will emulsify it with the water and make a lovely little butter sauce. So, cod's just coming up. Let's turn that off. Plate on the top, and that will happily sit there now for about 8 minutes, and then the cod will be lovely, perfectly poached, all ready to serve up. So we'll be back soon, and I'll show you finishing this off. Alright, back to my cod now. So I'll take my plate off the top, which is conveniently all ready for me to plate up, nice and hot. And let's use a little fish slicer or a little spider like I've got, just to bring that cod out. There you go. Let it drain off. Remember, it's nice and hot inside, it's got all that melted butter. And I'm just going to sit it onto my absorbent paper. I'm just going to let that sit for a second. Let's bring my butter over. Talking about an emulsified sauce, that's what I mean by that. You see how it's all kind of emulsified with that little bit of water. That's ready. Let's get my other garnishes out. Immediately with these boxes that you can pick up, they don't burn. Let's open these up. There's our gem, and there's our salsify. A little bit of seasoning, just on the top. They're ready to go. So we've got everything we need now to plate up. What we're going to do, take a pair of scissors, and then just cut very carefully. These are compostable vacuum pack bags, so when they go in the water, they can kind of sort of retract on itself a little bit. So the best way to open them is just with that scissors. You see there, look at that. all nice. Then what we're going to do, we're just going to get a spatula, like so. Just going to very, very carefully get under the cod. Allow that to drain. Lift that, and you can see all that lovely burnt noisette on the top of the cod. Really, really nice. Keep a little bit of that butter if we want some later. Then the gem lettuce. Beautiful and charred. Then we're going to go salsify. Salsify is that, it's not got a really, really strong taste or anything, but once you char it, especially of this cod, it really, really is lovely. So, nice pieces of salsify on there. Beautiful. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to get a little bit of my butter, just because that's got that wonderful noisette flavour in there. Let's just get that on. And then, finally, our deviled shrimps. So, nice little spoon of that, a little bit over the top of the cod, but I want to see all the colours. Little few dots around to make it look nice and presentable. There you go. Beautiful chunkiest piece of cod. Gem lettuce, salsify, devil butter sauce. Onto our ribeye course now. So we've got a lovely piece of ribeye for you. This comes all sealed in a vacuum pack bag. It is already basically cooked. What you need to do, just unpack it from the bag first of all, take it out, put it onto your UV Chef paper, and then the Roquefort butter, just take that off the top and just reserve that for later. So that's going to go on when we finish cooking. Now you'll see it's got a string around the outside. Leave that on as you cook it. That's going to make sure it all stays together, and it's going to go in the oven 12 to 14 minutes. So let's get that in now. There we go. I say 12 to 14 minutes. A little quick rinse of the hands. But if you want it more well done, an extra 6 minutes I'd say. Most importantly, make sure you rest it for about 6-8 minutes if you can. But I did, definitely took 2 to 3 minutes before you serve it. That will allow it to relax nicely. Now the garnishes, we've got some little beef fat potato here, so that's just potato. Look at that, lovely layers of potato, all layered up with beef dripping in there. That's going to go in the oven about 8 to 10 minutes, no longer, just to warm up. And then here, we've got some chicory. Take the little soft herbs out, they're just for garnishing at the end. And again, that wants to go into the oven about 8 or so minutes. I'd say keep the lid on that one, but both of those will go in shortly. I'm just going to give the beef a little bit. When we come back, I'll have heated up my red wine sauce, which is just in there, and then we'll put it all together with the butter on the top. Serve up. Beautiful bit of ribeye on the way. So main event time now. We've got our beef ribeye on the way. There's our red wine sauce all heated up. My ribeye has been out of the oven resting for a good 5 minutes. What we're going to do, just going to take the string off. See, like so. Don't want to eat that. Then I'm going to get my little Roquefort butter on the top. Just going to sit that on there, and up to you. That's all fine to go like that, or you can just give it a little flash under the grill. Meantime, there's your chicory, that's all ready to go. Keep an eye on your Roquefort butter, a little bit of rapeseed all on the top, and then just sprinkle with your nice little soft herbs, tiny bit more, and a little bit of salt already. Right, back to your beef. We don't want to overcook the beef, so look at that. See how that Roquefort butter all oozing over the beef. This is going to be very, very tasty. Let's go. First of all, let's get our chicory. Nice chicory root on that, with all those herbs on the top. And your beef, give it a little drain over to your plate. Pride of position at the base, quickly. Need to work quickly now, of course, because that butter's going to be melted. Take your little beef dripping potato. You see this is all coming together. Let's get a spoon. Take some sauce. First of all, just on top of your potato. Not too much, you don't want to take away the crispness, but then beautiful shine. Beef sauce. Not too much, you can always serve some on the table if you prefer. A little bit on top of that. Chicory, and there we go. Guaranteed, this is going to be so tasty. That is a beef Roquefort butter, dripping potato, chicory with those fine herbs on the top and a red wine sauce. Here we go with our vegetarian main course. You've got a lovely Tarte Fine, all in this lovely little pizza box, ready to go. So take your Tarte Fine out, put it onto the UB Chef paper provided. There we go, so you can see there. We've got a lovely puff pastry. We've spread it with like a caramelised onion and shallot marmalade, and then you've got those shallots and thyme on the top. That's going to go in the oven, 8 minutes. Let's get that in. Just until the pastry's crisp and it's all nice and hot. And at the same time, we're going to get our rainbow chard in. Lovely rainbow chard, bit of butter in there. Lid on, again, into the oven. And that's going to cook up really, really nice. When we come back, your sauce beef, empty that into a little pan. That's like a white onion puree. And then I'm just going to open up my winter sauce Viège here. It's a sauce Viège classically made with tomatoes. And when we're in season, we do lovely, beautiful Isle of Wight tomatoes, coriander seeds. But what we've done this time, you'll see there, you've got shallots in there, you've got little red onions, crushed coriander seeds, lemon juice, rapeseed oil. Going to be really, really tasty. Both of those out on the side for now. When we come back, I will have heated up my sauce beef, but just gently. You don't want to heat it up too much and catch it on the bottom especially, because then it will change from that lovely, beautiful white colour to brown, and you definitely don't want that. So back in about 10 minutes and we'll plate up our vegetarian course. Tarte Fine is out the oven now. All lovely and crispy pastry just on the outside. Beautiful little caramelised as well, where you get the sugar from the marmalade that we've put on. And then we've got our chard in there. That's all ready, hot. Make sure you give that a little bit of a drain before you plate it, because some of the water can come out of it. I'm going to get some of our cerise sauce onto my plate. First of all, good amount of that, and then just with the back of a spoon, you just want to spread that all the way around. You use a ladle as well, that can equally get it nice round pattern. So a little bit of thyme, and then we'll be ready to plate our chard on the top. Almost there. There we go. Then get our chard. As I say, give it a little drain. This is rainbow chard, so you've got lots of nice colours on there. I'm aiming to get colours around the outside of the stalks so that you can see some of that when you plate it up. That beautiful red one. There we go. So just keep curling that all the way around. And then we'll be ready to put our tart on the top. There we go, look. So, fish slice or spatula. Get your crispy Tarte Fine. Fry the place like a little flying saucer on the top of it. There we go. And then let's get our Viège. Give it a little stir. Make sure that lemon juice, those coriander seeds are nicely mixed in. And you see, I'm just going to kind of start plating it on the top and spread it out, and then we'll finish with dressing at the end. You can see those little red onion pieces where we've done them in a little bit of sherry vinegar. That's what brings out that lovely colour of the red onion. Okay, a few more on there. Make full use of the amount we've given you. And then lastly, let's get a little bit of dressing. Those coriander seeds, really nice crunch. Tiny bit drizzled over the side. There we go. Quick clean down. And that is the vegetarian course, all good to go. How about that? Tarte Fine. On to desserts now. Our first dessert is this really nice crispy eclair, which we've baked for you. So this has just been in the oven for about 3 to 4 minutes just to crisp up. You'll see we've put a lovely little topping on it that makes this lovely little sweet crunchy topping on there. Now I've got poached pears in one container, I've got a pear puree, I've got a yoghurt mousse, and then we've got a little white chocolate and cranberry ganache which is just set in here. Keep this in the fridge until you need it last second. Then what you need to do, let's just move that to the side. Just take your eclair and use a serrated knife just to carefully slice it. Watch your fingers. slice like that, open it up, keep the top, quick tidy up. Then what we're going to do, we're going to get our pears first of all. I'm just going to kind of plate them just on the sides, just so they're poking out a little bit, like so. So they're all in there. One more just at the end. Okay. Then what I want you to do, push that to the side. Get your yogurt mousse. Cut off the end of the piping bag, and the same with the pear puree. Let's get those little corners in the bin. And then just get the yogurt mousse, squeeze it all down to the end of the piping bag, and then you just want to pipe some nice little bits of the yogurt mousse inside. So there we go. That's all in there like so. Then what we're going to do, get your Eclair top, sit that back on. Then get your piece of ganache. You see how that's been out of the fridge for a few minutes now, but I'd say keep it in the fridge for the last second. Literally take your paper and just transfer that to the top. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to put it onto my plate. You can put it onto your board, completely up to you how you do this. But you see how I put it on there, and then I'm going to give it a very quick flash under the grill. Very, very quickly though. Then your ganache is just going to melt. Tiniest little bit. And there we go. That is all on the top. So, get rid of any of those crumbs. Push that to one side. And all that's left now is pear puree. So again, little tester just on the board. And I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That is really, really simple. A little bit of work to put it together, but really, really simple flavours in there. Really nice Eclair, cranberry on the top, white chocolate, pears going through the middle, yogurt mousse and pear puree. So onto my chocolate tart now. What I've done, just had this little chocolate ganache tart, look at that. Lovely. That's been in the oven for about 1 to 2 minutes, literally just to take the chill off of it. And then you get a beautiful shine on the top, really, really nice. Let's just put that onto our serving plate. Best thing as well with the chocolate tart, let it come up to room temperature before you put it in the oven, and then it won't need as long in there. But the main thing is you want the chocolate lovely and soft, but you don't want it oozing out. It just needs to still have that slight setness about it. Let's unwrap our parfait. So what we're putting with this is a Japanese whiskey parfait. So that's all there. We've got a little confit clementine, 'tis the season, and then we've got some little bitter chocolate shards just in there. So let's take some of our bits of clementine, and we're just going to get all these on the top. These are really nice and chewy, slight bit of bitterness which goes beautiful with that richness of a chocolate tart. So I'm going to get quite a few pieces of this on the top. You see I'm doing this off the plate, so I'm not going to lose any kind of presentation. There we go. And then let's get some of our chocolate shards. And you can just snap them away. Get some nice pieces. You can push them into the parfait a little bit. In the instructions you'll see that it says keep this in the freezer. That will just mean that you've got the wiggle room to plate it up, especially if you've got warm hands like I have. I've got true pastry hands, so it just gives you a little bit extra time. So get all that chocolate nicely sitting in there, almost looking like a spiky hedgehog. Take a slice, put that just on the side. Look at that. How about that? Lovely chocolate ganache tart, Japanese whiskey, parfait on the side, confit clementine and crispy chocolate shards. Here we go then with our UB Chef cheese tasting course. Now every week the cheeses can be slightly different. Of course, we vary the crackers and the chutney as well according to the seasons, but we always send you a cheese notes just here, lovely little cheese card, so you can put this next to your cheeses. You can put them all in order of strength of taste, and then you can check whether you agree with our cheese tasting notes. So what we're going to do, most important thing first of all, is the cheeses have been sat out for at least 15 minutes before you're going to serve them, but ideally longer. Now, of course, the French keep the cheese in the cupboard, never season the fridge, but you want it to be room temperature, otherwise you just can't get the proper taste from them. Let's get our chutney into our little pot. That can go onto the plate. And then what I'm going to do, cut open your cheese. It always comes in this little compostable bag with the backing board in there to keep it all nice in transit. Carefully remove the paper on the top, like so. And you see I've got a selection of cheeses this week, but of course it will vary according to the seasons. I'm going to put my little bit of quince just in the centre first, and then I'm going to start off. We nearly always have a goat's cheese. Little rinse of the spatula each time and come round. So there's a nice piece of Comte, and we've got Taleggio, and then we always end up with the stronger cheeses just at the end. And remember, on a cheese course as well, if you don't like blue cheese, just put that in the notes when you're ordering. We'll always put something different on there for you. And what we usually do, the crackers, just gonna put them just in that little fork, or you put them in a little dish to stand them up. You can flash them through the oven if you prefer a nice little warm cracker, completely up to you. But a nice few crackers on there, and there we go. That is our weekly cheese course with cheese tasting notes. So that's UB Chef for another week. All of our dishes cooked up. Hope you have a great experience with your UB Chef box. Remember, feedback for us is so vital. If you want to see some dishes on the menu, let us know. We have regular contact with lots of guests who say we want this dish, and on it goes onto the menu with a UB Chef twist, of course. So have a great week. Remember, it's last order Sunday night if you want to have another experience again, or if you've just been watching this and you want a kind of a piece of that. So have a great week, and we'll hope to see you soon.